ragazzi.
Ciao.
Welcome to the birth story of Lorenzo Leone Pazzini, born February 5th, 2026 at 11:43 p.m., weighing 2 pounds and 2 ounces.
For everybody that don't know, it is almost a kilo. Like 960
960 grams.
60 grams. Okay. So, allora, before start the process, we need, if you don't see the video before, we want to just say what happened that video and why the video come out at that moment. Amore, do you want to start talking about you from your perspective, talking about my perspective?
Yes, so February 4th, early morning.
3 p.m., 2 p.m., 2:30 p.m., 2:30 a.m. Brain.
I had a bleed. I'd gone to the bathroom, saw blood past the golf ball sized clot, and it started me on about half day of being NPO with fluids, IV, and monitoring to make sure that everything was okay. This lined up exactly with our 2-week bleeding calendar that we had somehow developed throughout this whole thing from when I was diagnosed with complete placenta previa at 20 weeks. Every 2 weeks we had a bleed. So we were thinking as it stabilized that was going to be it. Unfortunately, February 5th, early morning, about again 2 o'clock or something in the morning, I think.
Yes.
I had a very substantial bleed. I woke up and my pad was soaked, blood on the sheets, and I called the nurses. I ended up going to the bathroom and passing a clot the size of like my fist and knuckles, and they estimated that to be 750 milliliters of blood loss, plus everything in the bed. I was at 850 milliliters of blood loss just from that one bleeding event, not counting what I lost the day before. At this point, I was moved to labor and delivery. I had obviously called Alessio. He ran. And I was started on magnesium bolus and a 24-hour magnesium drip for baby's brain protection. It's something they do that helps to reduce complications with brain bleeds and things like that. I was also given the booster shot of the steroids because I'd had steroids when I was admitted to the hospital a month prior. And at this point, we were on continuous monitoring. Alessio was there helping me through the magnesium drip, and just through the day, there's so much that happened during that day that I can't even...
It was happening a lot of things, but that is what the video you was looking before. But the situation was stabilized because at like 8 a.m., something like that, no one was bleeding anymore. And then even 7 a.m. I was trying to be more conservative when I tell the doctors 8, but it was a little bit early because I don't write down. I was write down every bleeding in my phone to try to give the doctors all the situation.
You're right, because I had the big bleed in the night. I passed the big clot, moved to labor and delivery. Over the next 3 or 4 hours, I kept bleeding. I passed another clot, maybe that big.
And then some big and some that...
So it was just bleeding, and then it stopped.
It just stops.
Like
so the bleeding stopped. I was thinking, like always, okay, hour after hour after hour after hour, we said, we are good. We have this measure bleeding. For the Italians, like it was the new moon, you know, full moon. It was like, at the anniversary, it was for 4 days. I thought, oh my God. But that day was the powerful for who believe about the moons. In the where we are, they believe it. But some people know, some people yes. So we go through this and everything was fine. No bleeding. I said, okay, we got it. They stopped. Our doctor said,
finish the magnesium overnight to get the 24 hours. Go back to antepartum.
We was going back to our room. So it was super, like, it was a relief, but I was
Alessio was on edge still.
I was on edge, but at one point, everybody was saying, we made it, like, and then that what I was understanding it is, let's go to the 28 weeks and then plan, doesn't matter what, we're gonna plan for 28 weeks. The video was finished, was charging, and I put schedule. I scheduled the video because I said, oh, I need to drive, I need that, everything is fine, we're good. Schedule the video for the evening. I go home, okay? Everything's fine. Tomorrow we're gonna back to the room. Everything's gonna be normal. I arrived home to give Mitya the medicine for her kidney disease. So because we were a little bit in checking around, everything was fine. Eccola qua la Mitya. You confirming? You confirming, right?
She said yes.
Just she confirming. Okay, I give the medicine. I will say almost I gonna go back to the hospital. So I said I take care of it. I can walk. I said let me put in the couch. 1 second. I go to the couch. I see Jessi phone. I just sent a message to Jessi say, Amore, everything is gonna be okay. We made it. You are amazing. Now we need to try just arrive the 28 weeks. Don't worry, it's not gonna happen. Don't worry about the moon. I just sent the message.
And unfortunately, I didn't even get to see your message.
She don't see the message.
Because what happened on
What
my
happened?
end
Yeah.
was everything was stable, like we said. My nurses came in. They wanted to check me for any other bleeding. They roll me over. Blood again. And I knew immediately that it was not good.
Then
Because our doctors had said if you had another bleed, we were going to call it. And I said, can I get up to see if any clots are there? And I got up, another big clot. And at that point, they were totaling my blood loss at 1,300 milliliters. And they called the doctors. And I messaged Alessio.
Message me. I said, okay, it is a drive. It was in the night, so no traffic. I know where they was leaving the doctors. I said, we have in the same distance between like that.
Yeah,
I was already on the road. And so I said, I don't need a rush. I'm going to be there. I stay in the phone, listening what it was happening because Jessi cannot talk to me. I was listening. So in that case, if I was saying, okay, I keep the calm. I was calm. I need to be calm because I want to go super fast. But if the police was stop me, I was losing time. So keep it calm, listen what was happening. I heard that it is stabilized, was a little bit stabilized.
Okay.
And we arrived there, and then the doctors came and we planned the C-section. In that moment, the video came out. And immediately I said, the video, these people, the video. I comment, hey, it's happening right now. And then I closed that. So that's why people was confused.
Poor Alessio. I don't know how you made it so quickly. To me, it felt like you were there in a flash because on my end, everything was rushing around. The nurses were changing to prepare for surgery. I was getting more IVs. I was getting blood drawn. I was getting all these things. And I was just like,
Yeah, but it was 20 minutes. A little bit. I some places I go fast.
You made it though. I was so scared because when they came in and they told me they called the doctor, they were like, 30 minutes to an hour. We're going to be in the operating room. So I was thinking, oh my gosh, what if Alessio can't make it? What if something happens?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a little bit emotional to think back on this because I was very scared. I wasn't expecting it to happen in the night like that. And
nobody was happening. It was pretty scary.
And I just remember I kept telling you, Amore, I love you, I love you, I love you.
Yeah, you was giving me the prayer for the end. And I was telling you, don't worry. I said, don't worry, everything's gonna be okay. You don't need to tell me stuff I already know. So we arrived there, we talked with the doctors, Jessi was stable, and we call it, and we go to the operation. And now started fun part, quite fun part, because Jessi, you can talking about the doctors, what some doctors was expecting is something.
Well, the plan originally, because we weren't sure what kind of a creta I had, if I had it or not, they always wanted to prepare for a massive situation. So I had a big team with my OB team, the MFM doctor team, gyne oncology team, blood bank, anesthesia, all the things prepared. And you know what? Thank goodness that I had that prepared and that I had been admitted to the hospital because all of that being in place made everything happen quickly. So the whole team was there. The whole dream team was there. But there was a little bit of a tug of war between whether I would go under general anesthesia or I would be allowed to be awake for the birth. And I was begging to let me be awake for that moment so that Alessio could be with me. And I get in there.
So Jessi was leaving, and then the big doctor,
The-
if he watching
we
this,
call him the big boss.
the big boss said, "So Alessio, what are you gonna wait
In the waiting
here on
room?
the waiting room?" I said, "I have the stuff, because they give me the stuff,
The
I
changing.
coming, because our OB was trying to make
Was
us
advocating
to
could
make,
be there.
and it was talking with him. No, he coming. Don't worry, everything was gonna be fine. He was like,
A little bit
panic.
less tension. And then when I got in the OR, the anesthesia team had been prepped that I would go under general. So they didn't know anything about potential spinal or anything like that. So when I got in there, I was freaking out. Shout out to Anthony, the person who was there to help me, move my bed. And
Oh,
get me
he's
up.
just awesome. Yes.
Yeah, I told him I would shout him out.
Yes, he said.
Because I think I was cutting off his circulation. I was holding onto his hands so much, and he was there for me, talking to me as I could hear everybody else around me describe what we were about to do and whether I would go under general or not. And the anesthesia team was like, there's a potential accreta, because if a accreta can bleed massively and you need to be quick, and there are other risks associated with spinal where your blood pressure can drop. So ultimately, somehow, everyone decided that they would give me an epidural, and I got the epidural on the table, and I could feel the tension around me, and I didn't know what it was doing. I was just talking to Anthony, blah, blah, blah. Apparently, when they gave me the epidural, my blood pressure dropped, which made everybody
Panicking.
get nervous. And they kept their cool, though. Everybody was just like,
"Hey, Jessi, how are you?"
So that was happening. I think
I was out.
Yeah, Alessio wasn't in there at
that.
this point, and I kept telling my OB, if something changes and they have to put me under general anesthesia, please let me say something to Alessio before, please. And she was like, it's okay. So they gave me some stuff, I think, to try and stabilize my blood pressure. Got stabilized enough that Alessio was able to come in. I got strapped down to the table. I don't know if you know how a C-section works. I guess they put you down, strap your arms out like this, and you start getting prepped with all the stuff for your abdomen. I started to feel extremely nauseous, and I kept telling everybody, I'm gonna throw up. My OB came over with a little bedpan, and I lost it. I threw up, thinking I threw up in the bedpan. I opened my eyes. She was covered. I'd thrown up straight in her face, but she didn't flinch. She was just like, it's okay. And then I started to get epidural shakes, so I was shaking. I was throwing up again in the thing. And apparently at one point they said, okay, she's got to go back and change because she was going to be needed to do the surgery.
She came out. I saw her all wet. I said, "Wow, it's hot."
I thought it was sweat.
It's hot there. And she told me, "Jessi, throw up." And she was laughing like this. "But it's okay. I'm gonna just change and then go back." And me said, "Okay, I'm not gonna go inside. I'm not gonna go inside." I was saying, "I'm not gonna go inside," because I said, "Okay, it is the
They're
thing."
gonna say it's too much. We're gonna put her under anesthesia.
But then they go back, and then we waiting more.
Well, the big boss came in to take her place while she changed, and I told him I had pulled a muscle because my neck was in pain, and he stood there and he gave me like a 10-minute massage while they finished prepping everything, and it was just, I was relieved as soon as I saw Alessio come over my shoulder.
So Jessi, I go inside. So they said, "Okay, come in." I go inside. I go there. They put me super close to her because they don't want I see nothing, but really close. Because like this, and they just put me super close. I knew it because they was trying to not make me see nothing. We have a little tent on the front. Okay, you cannot see nothing. A cover. And then they put me super close. They push me with the chair, even if I was feel comfortable. Yeah, they pushed me super close, and they say, "Oh, look at this." I was talking with Jessi. Jessi was talking about crazy.
At this point, I had the magnesium lupinus, and I don't know what else they gave me in my epidural. I have no idea.
And this is fundamental. It's fundamental because Jessi's crazy. I'm gonna tell you why. I see Jessi a little bit crazy. Oh, it's fantastic here. It's not bad.
It's kind of cool.
Cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's not her 100%. So at one moment, you want to describe what happened?
No, you do it.
Okay, so ragazzi, in one moment this has happened. At one moment it was the time. They told me, "Oh, it's time to take a picture. They remove
curtain.
the curtain, but you have still
A clear plastic.
a clear plastic, you know. And then I was there waiting, and then I see Jessi. In that moment, I switched in 1 second. I switched from a photo to video. I push record in that second. They pull out baby Leone. He cried loud.
Wow.
Sounds so good.
Thank you guys.
And everybody was saying, wow.
I'm so grateful
And,
for that moment.
And then, yeah, it was so amazing. And then I close. I take a picture. Again, I did two. It was 10-second videos. He come out. Then I take a picture. And then I stay there with Jessi. And I was waiting that 30 seconds for the
60-second cord clamping. And they're serious. Like, everybody was ready for
Yeah.
whatever was coming next. And he was crying.
Mm.
I remember looking up because I had to try and put my head
You
up to
you
see.
try to perhaps up see was not easy. They was
And
holding
they were
correct. It
trying
was
to
try
hold him.
holding up.
And I did see him cry, and I was so happy.
I was so happy. He did like this, and then he said, yeah. And then after that they put in the NICU.
Yes, his team.
The
He had his own
team
team.
came immediately. Have the team NICU came take it, and then in that moment I was need to go with the. They will say hey ragazzi, hey guys, it's not bad that Krita. It was just a little bit, you know, Jessi's fine, everything is good. Actually, they said they removed the placenta. They
You want me
said
to tell that
yes.
from my perspective?
Go ahead.
Because, like, at one point you went over to his bed,
But they
you were
told-
still watching.
I was still watching. Yeah, I go to his
It
bed.
was right there.
They
Like,
said,
right
hey, Dad, come here.
there.
I
But
go
you were
there.
still present in both
But I was still present with you.
circumstances.
Yeah.
And at this point, on my perspective, I said, okay, he's out, he's crying, he's over there. I have to trust that he's okay. And now I need to see what's going to happen next, because this is what was also prepared for. And I hear my doctors discussing what they saw. At that point, they said they only saw focal accreta, about this big. And they had discussed that they were going to remove the placenta and clamp down my uterus to prevent the bleeding. And I ended up not having to have a hysterectomy. And the moment I knew that we were in the clear was when the gynecologic oncologist popped around the curtain and he said, hey guys, it doesn't look like they're gonna need me. I'm gonna head home. And he said bye. And I knew in that moment, I was like, oh my gosh, that means everything is okay. So at that point, they removed the placenta. I also forgot to say that there was minimal adhesion, because that was another thing that they were worried about, because all of my abdominal surgeries, they were worried if they needed to move fast and do a hysterectomy, they wanted to make sure I didn't have a bunch of adhesions in the way. So they removed the placenta, they were clamping it down. They told me later I had 900 milliliters of blood loss during the surgery, which is less than I had before. And they were giving me a couple little things, but I didn't have to have a blood transfusion. And I just kept watching Alessio. I remember seeing Alessio in the corner of my eye, and right above him was my blood pressure on the screen. And I just kept floating back and forth just to make sure, like, oh, I'm still stable. I'm still stable.
It was stable.
Then I could hear them, you know, doing all the things, removing, sewing me up.
And then I see you stable, and they told me it is fine. They actually say we needed just stitching up and the layers. Start from one layer to the other layers. So they told me everything is fine. So the NICU left, and I need to fall the NICU. I fall the NICU. We arrive to the elevator, like immediately to the elevator, and the guy say, hey, this boy, this Leone, see, they don't know yet the name, we don't know that. This boy already don't need oxygen. He was breathing hard, 21% oxygen, you know.
Which is what we breathe.
We're breathing. So 21% it is hard breathing. He said, I don't need a pump, nothing. So we go up. I was, oh my God, oh my God. And you can feel for the cry. The cry means good lungs.
I feel like that must have been so surreal for you to just be like walking with
I go
them,
there.
not knowing what was happening.
I go there. They make me sign some papers about if Leone needs some blood or something happened, if I can do this, if I can do that. So I was there to sign the papers, and then I was there. And then that I stay a little bit with Leone. I take some pictures. They told me, "Oh, take some pictures for Jessi." So I take some pictures for Jessi. He was in this little bag. He was like, "My God, he was long." I was thinking, he was long, ragazzi. I was thinking to have for that stage, but how long it is? Well, how many centimeters they said? It was
13 and a half, I think.
centimetry. No, 13 and a half is like this centimetry. He 20. It's long like this.
I don't remember.
Ragazzi, it's 23.
Everybody
maybe.
keeps saying, "Wow, he's so long. He's got such long legs."
Something like that. He was like, ragazzi, like that. And I've been there 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Sign the papers, 3 pictures. I go to the waiting room to waiting Jessi. So in that case, I go to the room, in a how original room, to waiting her. And they told me, "Oh, Jessi is in the. You was fine." And they told me, "Okay, you need to be in a different room for check you after surgery."
Like just recovering. To
Recovery.
make sure I remain stable, because like when you left, I remember they were still stitching me up. I remember hearing the different departments start packing up around the room. Like, okay, blood bank, you're good. You know, everybody starts. And then I felt like just maybe 5 or 6 people, maybe a little bit more, maybe like 7 people were in the room. And I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
And I could actually see at one point in the reflection of the light, them sewing me up. So I watched them stitch all the layers. I kept watching my blood pressure because I was like,
yeah, you were stable.
Well. And then
they put you in the other room.
Well, they put me on the bed. I wanted to say one thing about the mustard seed necklace.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
My grandmother gave me a long time ago a little mustard seed necklace. Like, if you have faith of a mustard seed, anything is possible. And so as they moved me from the operating table into the bed, a nurse said, "Oh, is this yours?" Because I had tied it to my bed before, and they put it over my head, and it was the mustard seed. And I just felt so much relief and gratitude in that moment. And then they took me to the recovery, like Alessio said.
And there, nobody's allowed, not even me. But a nurse said, "Tonight we've broken the rules." We are breaking every rule. So I don't know, it was an anesthesia person, another thing. They told me, "Tonight we've broken the rules. Let's go." And then they bring me to Jessi. And I stay with Jessi.
You showed me all the pictures you took of him.
I took the show the video.
Of him crying.
I said, I have the video.
I was so happy.
So she was really good in that moment. So I knew at that moment it was a good choice to take that, because I see you loopy, something like that. She's not in. And we stay there, and then together we're going to the NICU.
Because also that wasn't supposed to happen.
We broke the rules. With the bed.
I was supposed to stay an hour or something in the downstairs recovery, and then another hour in a different recovery. And they said, "Do you want to go to the NICU to see your baby?" And I was like, I can't do that?
Yeah.
They're like, "Yeah,
maybe it was night, it was middle of the night."
They wheeled my hospital bed up to the NICU, into the NICU, helped me scrub in and all these things. Because again, like I had a classical C-section, so it means a vertical scar. So I was just like laying. I had no power, to, nothing to get up. I was just laying in the bed and they took me in. They helped us wash in, drove us through the NICU. As I start to see the NICU and everything, I started sobbing again. A nurse popped her head and she's like, "Those better be happy tears."
Yeah.
And I was like, they are happy tears. They moved us to his little bed.
He was there, and they opened the 2 portholes. Jessi put her hand, and Lorenzo, in the beginning did like this, that go like this, And then at one point he did like this, and then even there was that made me cry for the next 4 days. Every time I was go home, I have that picture that we posted, and but you see just like this, you know. But then he actually did like this. That made me cry for 3-4 days just thinking about all the 6 years. Oh, the journey. It was long.
It's really long.
And that was a good moment.
The best moment.
Best moment.
The crying and the finger.
And the finger. And then from there, you know, then everything was fine. And then we go back to her room, and then we start go every day to visit him. And then he was such a good fighter because the oxygen was always there, good at 21%. If sometimes maybe they need add couple percentage and then come back down, he was a big fighter. He showed us that I'm here to stay here, because right now it is all the complications that you can have, like brain bleeding, infection. We have all that, and we still have that. It's not easy right now.
Unfortunately, you know, him being 26 weeks and 5 days, which I'm counting 26 as 6 because it was so close to midnight.
I was like 20 minutes, 15 minutes. And
it's a long road.
It's a long road, but it is here with us. He's doing great. He's fighting. They told us it's not gonna be every day positive. One day is gonna good, one gonna be bad, one gonna be stable. Then you're gonna have super hype, and then maybe something gonna go down. It's not like this. It is like that, you know.
But he's already showing his little personality.
He's already showing
everything that we saw him do inside my uterus with the monitoring, and kicking.
Guys, they try to make him like this.
He's breaking out.
He's like
stretching around.
He said like this, and then where's this tube? Now he started try to remove the tubes right now. And they said, oh, he's fast. They tied him.
Tried so hard to get him in that little snuggly fetal position.
Yeah. He's so nice, beautiful. He has a little bit of hair.
He has a pretty good amount of hair.
Yeah, I was surprised for the
age.
For the age. Pretty good hair. Yes, it's tiny here.
He looks like Alessio.
He looks Italian.
He looks like Alessio.
It is. Maybe the appropriate name was Alessio Jr. But for now, who knows? It's the stage. Who knows what is gonna be in 2 months? But I always said, okay, if you're looking at me, I hope he's gonna be strong, intelligent like Jessi, and sweet like my Amore. I sign if he's have my personality with spiky hair. No, he need to be like nice, cute like Jessi, nice, polite, good, sweet. You need to be like that.
Say, because I'm not sure he's super polite right now.
Right now, he's feisty. I
can't wait for the day he's gonna get
really.
Italian.
Where is the? Oh, no, really? It is like they said. Wow, ragazzi.
But I'm glad because that means he's a fighter.
And then he's there, proving herself. It is like here. And then in San Valentine, he decided to give some candies to the nurses and tell this guy's Italian. He's gonna steal the hearts to the nurses here. Start giving grazie ragazzi, grazie. He's the nurses while we are in the NICU.
They're all amazing.
They are amazing, ragazzi. I'm just glad because the nurses is like we already have the nurse. We call her the big sister because she takes so much care. Leone, and we are just blessed with what is going on right now. And I go like we said, it's gonna be high and down.
As you can tell, I was discharged from the hospital, which I have to say was really difficult because being there after the C-section, they keep you several days. So I was able to, go down and see him at all hours. I was in there in the middle of the night. I was seeing him, and having to leave was really hard because I can't control anything.
We cannot control. Yeah.
I don't want to, but I know that he's in the best place. It's just really, really hard.
Yeah. And for everybody up there, we have 3 months. People maybe can live 1 week, 1 day. Doesn't matter how long, but the fact that you go out from the hospital with an empty
Without your
basket,
baby.
it is really painful. So we want to pray for everybody can experience the situation like we experience, because if
like you said, it doesn't matter if it's 1 hour and you have to leave them there, or if
it is
it's
broken your heart,
half a year.
it broken your heart, doesn't matter what, broken your heart, it's broken your heart. But Jessi, she fight for her family. She did amazing job, guys. I not to be so more proud of her for all these years, for all these years, what she did with all the IVF, for every single needle, for fighting these bleedings, for trying. It's nothing that you can control. It's not. She did so much. She did so much. I cannot be more grateful in my life. And right now, we are crying every day, constantly. We go emotional really easy. We reading your messages, I cry. Sometimes I read some, I need to take a break because your messages, I want to say thank you.
They are what give us strength during this time.
Vi dico grazie ragazzi. And we're so excited to show Leone coming back home. And that's it. So this is our birth story from Lorenzo Leone. We are so proud of him doing this. And grazie mille for all your support in these times.
We love you.
We love you. Bye bye. Ciao.